They do have significant parking behind. So I don't know. I just don't. I mean, we would logically think that, but it's not the way you park. Excuse me, no, I mean, parkers that live there that park out and they're all. So, I mean, that's not against the law, but that's a way to go over on that piece of property and build. It would stop some of the noise from the railroad and you could make people out of there because I did notice you got never. That's good. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. No. Food, isn't that what you say? No, I've never had it. I don't know. I mean, I can make it. I would have bought it for that. Well, they. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, are we allowed to just take? Is he not paying attention? Yeah. Really, because if you owned the sidewalk, they couldn't have an ordinance that only allowed you to have 18 inches of it used for whatever frickin' crap. Off of Main building to building, unless it's 18 feet offset from the middle of the road. Yeah. We just letter. And I'm sure that.
But I did say I didn't.
Right, right. Are they going to be able to figure out a way to get us any more parking, or we're only leaving? So we have to come up with a plan, which is what's our plan? Oh, sorry.
It's okay, Tish. You missed that part, you know. Okay, so back in session. Okay, item line number 4, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding comprehensive plan to select a consulting firm to engage to prepare the comprehensive plan, to issue directives to the city manager regarding further investigation and interviews with consulting firms, and/or to issue directives to the city manager regarding negotiation and preparation of a proposed contract with selected consulting firm. Mr. Jacob.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we put this item on the agenda in case council was prepared to make a decision today on the item. If so, you would select a firm and then direct me and the city attorney to negotiate a contract with them, which we would then bring at the September 8th council meeting. If council would like more time to consider the firm proposals, we could move this item to the September 8th meeting, and then we would bring a contract to the October meeting for council.
Is there a way for us to discuss it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was, because you will be working with them. So your input, I think is, would be considered a lot of wisdom for us in making that decision
I
too.
have a couple of questions though that I want to ask you before you
I mean-
tell me who you think.
Absolutely.
If I could, can I?
Yeah.
Okay. So it appeared that the last company was saying that in order to get much planning done with our downtown and our lakeshore, which the other two companies seem to have a big focus on, not just the whole town as itself. My question is, I don't know unless you've told us and I missed it somewhere, what's the difference in the cost on these three companies?
We don't have that because we issued this as a request for qualifications to really understand what kind of approach they would take to the process and to make sure it best aligned with what the community was looking for. The next phase is the negotiation process. I did let them all know when we shortlisted them that the city's range was around $150,000. They each stated that they thought their proposals, as were, could fit within that. But understanding that adding in more layers such as the downtown master plan and the lakeshore master plan could add to that cost. And that's something we would address during the negotiation process.
Did you
Certainly,
hear that from all three companies or did you hear that from just this final company?
I believe that would carry through all three. I think they communicated it differently in how they would incorporate it. The first firm was more forthright with including it throughout the process. I think you get some savings in doing that, which they spoke to. If you're already conducting surveys, why not ask about downtown and lakeshore at the same time? And it adds to the cohesiveness of the project. And I think if we were to ask the last firm about that, they would also be open to doing it that way. So I would estimate around 200,000 total. So.
Can you further address?
Did you have any other questions? Sorry.
No, I didn't. I will say that the second company, while it seemed a little less structured in their approach to talking to us, there were pieces of it that I really liked. They seemed very excited about like becoming part of the community basically. And they were the ones that kind of, I felt like had pushed the way that they were going to get into our communities and they were going to brand this whole project. And in asking, both other companies said they would, but that company seemed, I don't know, more
excited.
approachable, more excited about that.
I agree with you. I like how they wanted to include all parts of the community and found ways to do that at Chickasha. I think that was where they had gone into underserved parts of the community that weren't voting or getting out and becoming
Making
involved.
sure it's pulling them in, not
Yes.
just leaving them out on the outskirts.
Yes, and I loved how their approach to branding. And I don't know who asked the question of them, but they were coming down to the events. Whereas I did appreciate every company, but we didn't have a set amount of 4 events that we're coming down to, basically. We're coming down to the events that we feel, they didn't say, they would just be here. I appreciated that. They're a little younger. It seems like our leads on that project, they would be younger and maybe not as organized. So there's that. I don't know. That's just the impression
Yeah,
overall I
they
got.
didn't seem as articulate in their presentation, I thought, because we were having to pull some things out of them.
Yes,
But
yes.
their plan that they sent was just as articulate as the other two, I thought. I mean, it was pretty well laid out.
But she didn't even know the plan.
I think she was trying to figure out what part of it I was talking about.
Maybe she was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I was.
Definitely different. They were different, but I appreciated the youth. I think they had good ideas about how to engage the community. Overall, I think we can go wrong with any of them.
Yeah.
I like them all, but what do you think, James?
Well, I was wanting to hear, because ultimately, he's the one who's going to have to
Right.
be working with,
Well, and we have to remember our community we have to get community buy-in. So they have to be relatable to people in the community.
I like the first one, how they planned out the newspaper. They planned out all different types of generations of
Mhm.
incorporating that.
Yes.
That was very well thought out, I thought, because they even mentioned, these people that grew up in COVID, they're totally different.
Yes.
And so to me, they were very well planned. And I think that's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who can plan very well. And they talked about the newspaper, an article, a blog, Facebook, setting up ways for video. I even mentioned and wrote down high school, and she said, absolutely, and I know there's a lot to talk about with every aspect, and they're probably very similar in a lot of ways. And so I understand there's only so many ways or so much time they have to present. But I did like how the first group had a lot of information, explained the process, really stuck to what Jacob sent them. This was what he sent all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
the second group, are they the ones who requested this?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. It was an idea that they had suggested, and I thought, well, great. Yes, I can put together some questions. And
The second group.
yes, and submitted it to all of them either late last Thursday or Friday, so that they had an opportunity, and let them know that they can incorporate it into their presentation itself, or council may utilize it as follow-up questions. But that these were some priorities that I had sensed from the council that would be important to address.
Yeah, in reading through all of their books, before coming today, I think the basic structure of all of this seems pretty close to the same.
Right.
I do think that it is going to matter because where we are a small town, and there's always going to be people that don't accept anyone from out of town. I think it's going to matter how well you can work with them, and then also how approachable they are to people in this community as they're going out in the community and setting up at these things. If they're sitting behind their deal and typing on their phone, people are not going to approach them. But if they're out and they're becoming part of the community, I think. So I agree with James. I mean, you're the one that's going to have to work with them. I thought that you did a good job of picking the
three.
three that
Mhm.
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
We certainly have three highly qualified firms to consider from. I would say whoever we don't choose in this, we could certainly utilize in other capacities in the future. They all showed some great strong points that the community could benefit from. In terms of being the most responsive to the city's needs that I expressed, I believe the first firm did the best job of addressing those and communicated it quite well. They offer a breadth of experience that I think is especially important since this is our first comprehensive plan. They're really having to build from the ground up, and not just the plan itself, but the community consensus. But again, I defer to council because it's your final decision.
I think I agree with that. I think from that second group, we can take some of the excitement that was kind of coming through on that, and some of the ideas about billboards and ways to get that out into the community and express it to that first company. And if that wasn't something that they were planning on already, maybe we could make it known that.
I agree with you. I think that you two are both right. The idea of branding is a very big marketing tool, and it's very important.
We need to create the
Yeah.
excitement from the community. I think this will be a first
Yeah.
step for all.
But I think like what Jacob's saying too, and what you just said is like, here's the string, or here's what we need. Here's the strengths of the company that matches our needs, but yet here's something extra that we just learned today that could be applied to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I agree.
I will make one more point that I appreciated from the first firm is they underscored their experience with shoestring staff, which we have. And one of my questions I had written down to myself was throughout the comprehensive planning process, what kind of support would they provide if a manufacturing company comes in and asks for a rezoning? Because we're going to have those on the fly questions, and they can help address that. And then also help us in the long term, once we've adopted the master plan, can we still utilize them through a consultant service to say, we've got this zoning proposal. How do you think it aligns with our plan? Do we need to make some adjustments within it? That long-term relationship.
And they had more experience with lake areas. The final company, they really didn't.
Yeah, they were
They
kind of like,
had to kind of struggle to figure out a way to connect it. But I think we do need somebody who absolutely understands the tourism part of it. But the thing we've all expressed is, what if the lake dries up? Who
Bingo.
are we besides the lake as well?
Yeah.
And
Are they out of Tulsa, if I'm remembering?
They have
correctly?
offices in Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And I believe Dawn is out of Tulsa.
yeah.
the one gal that was still on an airplane somewhere, there's two from Tulsa and two from.
And I liked it too, with the first one, the lady who's over ours is the main person.
Yes.
So it's like
We got them.
not bad. Yeah, it's not bad with the others. It's just like the person with the most experience is over our area versus someone who's younger who doesn't have as much experience. And building from the ground up, I think that's a very important role.
And we can incorporate the youth in a way as we're building out this plan, when we have
Yes.
the plan in hand.
You're absolutely right. I don't think that
Because
was
they're the ones that are gonna be here in 2050 that are gonna need to take it further.
Yeah.
right. And that really wasn't even anything that was on our radar, I don't believe, until today, which is good to know.
Yeah.
We can incorporate that.
So,
would you guys feel comfortable if I make a motion to accept company number one, which was the
Freese and Nichols. Freese and Nichols.
Guernsey?
No, that's number two. Freese and Nichols. We're
She's
not.
gonna,
Oh, you're right, okay. Didn't have a number. Okay, sorry, Freeze and Nichols, thank you. I'd make a motion for Freeze and Nichols, to be the company that pushes us forward with our
Comprehensive plan.
plan.
I second that motion.
Just to clarify, for staff to negotiate a contract to bring back to council
That's what I said.
for final determination.
That's what I said, right there.
That's what I heard.
I second that motion.
Councilor Felmy,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morgan,
Yes.
and Mayor Hickey.
Yes. That motion passes. Mr. Jacob, we are excited. We are very excited. So excited. I make the motion to adjourn.
Happy holiday.
I gotta go to my next meeting, bye.
Okay, bye. I gotta go to work.
Who gave me a second?
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do I hear a second?
a second?
Okay, Councilor Felmy?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morgan?
Yes.
Mayor Hickey?
Yes,
Thank you.
we are adjourned.
We were on
I skimmed through it, yes.